Time for some overlooked stocks. George Tsilis has movers that you missed in today's action. George, let's get some comfort from, well, good old fuzzy teddy bears. That was the best thing to own in today's big unwind of risk assets. Build-A-Bear was up like 20%. How does that work?
Yeah, it was up 20%, OJ, but look at the last 6 months. I mean, the stock is on a tear, so to speak. But this is a specialty retailer, and I think it's a really an impressive value proposition. Because if you think about Build-A-Bear, when it comes to producing stuffed animals that are customized, by the way, for kids.
I've heard, yeah.
Maybe teens if they're still into that kind
of stuff.
What
I understand,
you adults, I don't know.
You build it. I could be wrong. I've never done it, but from what I understand, you build the bear, right?
Yeah, you customize it, and one of the things about their customization is it's online software and direct-to-consumer, which is an important factor in what its growth prospects are going forward. But it also has retail outlets that are either company-owned, but also a mix of franchise-owned, as well as commercial licensing rights or exclusive licensing rights to their brand. And I think this is a company that is a value proposition from a brand standpoint, because if you think about it, there really isn't a substitute for this company in terms of what they do and provide the marketplace. In terms of being able to customize bears and even using some online and mobile software to do so that's 3D animated for kids. I think their expansion overseas in the international space is also pretty interesting. But it's a 25-year-old plus company. It was exclusively more of a retailer that was in malls, but now is becoming an international brand that has a lot of direct-to-consumer prospects. Now, it did report earnings today. There was a catalyst, and the stock was up nicely today, alongside a nice move in the last 6 months. Again, 6 months is important because it represents 2 quarters now of some solid reported earnings, but they beat the revenue by about 10 million, coming in at 95 million. So that was a beat by about 12%, and also came in on an adjusted basis of 38 cents versus an expected loss on an adjusted basis, but their GAAP profitability actually matched their non-GAAP profitability, or close to that, which is about 36 cents. They also guided higher for the entirety of fiscal year 2021, ratcheted all of their sales higher from around 380 to close to 400 million, as well as EBITDA somewhere in the realm of about 55 to 60 million versus 45 to 50 million. So overall, the company's margin profile has been expanding. Top line sales were up 27% on the quarter. Now that was less than last quarter's 97% year over year, but you got to look at the comps from Q2 numbers versus the previous year. People were still sort of apprehensive because of the lockdown and weren't shopping. And now we're starting to see normalized revenue growth, but not normalized price action, because the company's profit profile is pretty impeccable relative to its top line sales.
Okay. All right. Hey, when you're looking for a loss on the bottom line and they're able to do a positive number, and you're used to seeing a loss and flips over, that's usually good for a pretty big rally. So 20% Build-A-Bear, it's simple. You don't need any futuristic stuff here. You don't need any fancy tech, genomic editing, or electric vehicles. Just teddy bears. Incredible. What a story. $22. Stock was trading below $4 earlier on in the year. However, George, I know this thing is like a Reddit meme, internet sensation, because I tweeted about it. And I put the hashtag BBW, and it was filled up with all these automatic trader responses, where they search the hashtag or the cash tag, and they, let me show you how to trade Build-A-Bear. Like 4 of those popped up. So that means it's in Reddit crosshairs, which means you've got to be on your toes, even if it looks like it only goes up. Those trades, when they unwind, are ugly.
They are, and there's an element of that. There's been sort of a social theme behind Build-A-Bear, because it's really a nostalgic. When we talked about how there was sort of this nostalgia trade that was going on early in the year with a lot of
AMC, Hertz,
Nokia. Exactly. So there's a herd mentality, but I will say this, OJ, despite that component of it, the financials. If you look at the financials, for anybody who's short this stock, they would choose otherwise. I didn't look at the short interest. It's like, I don't think it's a short interest play per se. Because the financials look very remarkable. And you have to think about the company's performance from a direct-to-consumer standpoint. I think the brand power it has, the licensing revenue it's generating, and this is a high-margin component of its business, as well as the international franchises that are expanding for Build-A-Bear. It's a growing company. And it's, like I said, a growing company with a brand Also, their products are in high demand. People are paying high prices for them because anything has to do with your kids, you're going to pay up for. Trust me, I know this.
Right. Yeah, I believe you.
But if you look at profit margins that are essentially nearly 43% for the company, we're seeing a pretty remarkable growth rate considering, of course, 27% revenue growth. So in other words, if you're getting 40% year-over-year EPS growth, and that is nearly double your revenue growth, the stock should go higher than it is.
All right, wow, teddy bears, what a racket. Incredible. George, all right, let's keep it going. Got a couple other ones for us. We got to jam through these ones, GT. MP,
okay.
The one that we just saw doing all that mineral construction and mining on the footage coming into this block. Shares are trading right below March levels, which is their high. This is like rare materials though, right?
It is. This is rare earth minerals. We talked about some lithium companies in the last few weeks, OJ.
LAC.
I think this is another play on the demand for minerals, and especially here for MP, very unique is it's basically the only rare earth miner in the United States, and they have about 15% market share globally, whereas about 80% is China. And I think this is essentially a play on electric vehicles, also wind turbines, and many of the advanced technologies that use rare earth minerals. But I think it's also a policy pivot. Perhaps the Biden administration is more apt to support domestic mineral and mining companies because we need a source of rare earth minerals that is close to, so maybe China doesn't have some political or economic leverage against the United States. So I think there's also a component of these mineral stocks being an inflation hedge. I have noticed that some of the gold mining stocks have been actually ramping higher, despite the fact that gold may not be, OJ, because I think we're seeing that share shift still with Bitcoin being favored versus gold as an inflation hedge. But the miners themselves have performed well, and I think the lithium miners here at MP Materials and the rare earth miners, which again is utilized in so many different avenues of production, whether it's electric vehicles, telephones, and all electronics. I think this is a play for an EV play. I think it's also a materials play, but also, like I said, a play on domestic security. But if you just look at its top line sales, they're growing quarter over quarter and year over year. Last quarter, they reported $275 million in the last year, but 143% growth year over year. Previous quarter, it was up about 43% when it comes down to top line sales. So their revenue growth is improving.
Okay.
Their profitability is also pretty impeccable. This is another company with 40+% profit margins over the last year. And this is pretty remarkable profit margin for a company that's in minerals and mining.
Wow, all right. And some pretty rare stuff here. Praseodymium. I studied material science. I don't know what the heck that is.
That's
but I guess they use it in industrial engines and in lighters too. It's kind of metal. So pretty rare stuff. Interesting find, George, trading near the highs. And maybe a little bit more of a diversified portfolio than just some of the pure lithium players we've seen get a lot of attention with the EV stuff. George, thank you. Overlook Stocks, nice finds, George. Interesting. Appreciate it, GT, our contributor from Salt Lake, with the movers that you missed in today's session.